Hello and welcome to Elden Ring. This time we're on part 16 of my All Quests All Endings guide, and we're going to deal with Dung Eater a little bit more. So, down to this site of grace, then be prepared to deal with these rather annoying electricity knights, who I actually quite hate and get killed quite frequently by. This isn't quite my main build. We'll go back to the Madness build, which I tend to favour these days. A few buffs. Deal with them so they don't sneak up behind you. Bit more unendurable frenzy there, and then get to safety. Separate the enemies out and deal with them one at a time if you're having trouble with them. There's some more of these knights there, but hopefully we can heal in time and deal with him. You could run past these, but I just get so annoyed with them that I think, oh well, I want some revenge. But that's then dealt with. So now we're going to jump down here and we're going to grab an Ash of War from the Scarab. That's Thunderbolt Ash of War. Deal with these dumpling head companions. Then jump down the well. We're going to go to the sewer jail cell. Got a rune arc there. Open the gates. Can't get through there. So drop down the ladder. Across here, down here. There isn't anything there, just for the record. Deal with the rats. Grab yourself a poison bone dart. Open this door. In the Subterranean Shunning-Grounds. Run past that fell omen and grab the grace first, just so you can restart here. Can catch you unawares, those fell omen guys can. I'm actually killing it this time, but to get to the Dung Eater cell, you're probably best off saving your resources and running past them. So we're going to do this area properly later, but for now we just need to get to the sewer jail cell. And that was the wrong kind of stone there. We did a warming stone, we used a frenzied flame stone. Deal with these rats, ideally in a way that saves you some resources. And then you want to deal with these flowers. Now these need some sort of fiery spell. Dragon's Breath works well. Swirl, anything that's flame based. So I'm using unendurable frenzy as usual. The next battle doesn't quite go to plan on this run, so next time we come here we're just going to run past it because you really want the resources for this fight. Just get a bit of a healing there. Obviously you can see the fingertips sticking up out the ground. You know it's going to be a trap, but you can run past it, and there is an item to grab, and the only way to grab the item is by setting it off, but yeah, it's really you want to save your resources for that fight. Those hands are very weak to fire as well, so recommend some sort of big AoE attack that deals fire damage for them. Dealing with the rats in a way that doesn't use up any resources. Run past those. Then we'll run up there. Make sure we grab those all important runes. Quick buff. And this time we're going to get completely cornered and obliterated again. This time we're going to skip pretty much all of the flowers and everything, and we're going to try and be a bit more decisive when we come to the handle. You don't have to fight it, you can just run around it, but and we are an NG plus here, so you might find it's not quite as aggressive if you're on the first playthrough. So we'll find the buffs, roll past it, and then we're going to just go straight in with as much unendurable flame as possible. And that's dealt with it, no problem. Really made a meal of that. Shouldn't have been as difficult as it looked. A few items to grab there. Somber smithing stones. Open the sewer jail, and then you'll meet the Dung Eater, who's a lovely chap. He'll talk about omens being cursed and defiled, and even people's ancestors being cursed and defiled, and just all that sort of thing. Basically, just being a really vile person. But when you go back, he'll challenge you to come to the outer moat. So where he means, we're going to go to the outer wall battlefield in the capital outskirts of Leyndell, and then we're going to ride this way, up the steps, through the graveyardy area, past these noble sort of guys, and take a right. Going to go down here. When you get down here, highly recommend you clear the area, because it can be quite a surprisingly tough fight, the Dung Eater can, if you're not ready for him. And having these sort of flies buzzing around over this crab interrupting you can ruin an otherwise good run. Do watch out for the death blight from the crabs. Luckily there's a stake of Marika nearby, so you don't have to spend a long time getting back here. Make sure you get those runes. Make sure you don't get death blighted by the crab. Once we've cleared the area, which can take a minute, you should see Boggart's sort of cooking pot at the side of the lake. So we can see he's there. I'll have a quick talk to him. Buy some boiled crab, buy some boiled prawns. If you get here and he's alive, then the Dung Eater isn't going to spawn. So what you're going to need to do is grab any items, then reload the area. So just go back to that same site of grace, and when you get back here again, sadly, Boggart will have died, and the Dung Eater will invade you. Just worth picking up this site of grace while we're here as well. We're going to come back here a bit later to deal with the bell-bearing hunter, but for now we're just going to grab the grace and we're going to go and have a crack at the Dung Eater. We'll be quite disappointed that you haven't accepted his gift of being defiled. Read into that what you will. So again, clear the area. Make sure you're not going to get distracted, because if you try and lock onto the Dung Eater, you lock onto a fly instead, and you're only at the cusp of being the right all for doing this, and that could actually be quite annoying. He's got spells which will trace around you and follow you, and yeah, so just make this fight as easy for yourself as you can. Get rid of the little mobs in the way first. When you approach Boggart, that's when he'll attack, so make sure you get your buffs applied ready. Got the status effect one there. Flame got me strength, golden vow, and he's not a happy chappy. And he's died, so we've got his armour set, and here comes the Dung Eater. So we're going to go for some again. He got us out and say it was going to be a Warsnall guide. If I die, you're going to see it. I'm still going to clear this area because he's hard enough without being distracted by all these little thingamajiggeries. So yeah, do a crab. There's a Dung Eater. And I want to try and get my runes back here, because I find him quite tricky. And there's certainly a definite risk that I won't be able to do it. So if I can get the runes back first, that means I won't lose anything if it doesn't go to plan. So that's the spell that tracks you. You need to make sure you get your dodge in at the last minute. And again, it'll chase you around like a... Try and avoid giving you time to get your spells in. So we need to decide what we're going to use here. Already he's only got a couple of hits in, but he's done a lot of damage. If you've got a strong ranged attack or area of effect attack, it's well worth trying it. That's a good old faithful unendurable frenzy, and it's given us a sword of Milos. So poor Boggart's gone now, but we can go back to Round Table Hold and speak to Dung Eater, and he'll be a bit upset that we've beaten him. This is what you need to do to unlock Dung Eater's ending. You really need to make a decision. If you can either get Dung Eater as a puppet, or you can get Dung Eater as a possible ending, but you can't get both. Obviously, if you want him as a puppet, you need to give him the potion that Seluvis made for Nepheli. On this playthrough, I gave that potion to Gideon, so we can do Dung Eater's ending. Hopefully, at the end of this, I'm going to do all endings in one playthrough. So when you get to him here, speak to him. He'll complain a lot. Don't give him the potion unless you want the puppet. Give him the Seedbed Curse. And that should be the main thing you need to do to unlock the Dung Eater's ending. So once you've given it to him, reload the area. Deal with any rats here. Run past all the Miranda flower thingamajiggeroos. When you get back to his room, go back to Round Table Hold. Then go and speak to Nepheli. Speak to Gideon and exhaust all his dialogue. This is where we're making the decision. So if you tell Gideon about Seluvis's potion, he'll know what it is straight away, so he won't be tricked. But he doesn't like Seluvis, so it's one of the things I think you and Gideon can agree on. So I would recommend, unless you want Dung Eater's puppet or you want the Nepheli puppet, give the potion to Gideon. Once you've done that, if you go back this way, get yourself back to Seluvis' Rise, he'll be confused and think that he didn't make the potion properly or something. And he'll give you the opportunity to buy some sorceries there. And this is where I came up with a bit of a problem, because I was able to get the first option to buy a puppet. Because what you need to do here is go to Seluvis' secret underground chamber here. Inspect all the puppets. Break that wall and then go and look in here and you'll find Selon's puppet. Once you've been into the secret room, you need to go back to Seluvis and he'll complain that you broke into his secret room. And you'll start to get into this fairly sinister sounding hobby of Seluvis. So he thinks you've given the potion to Nepheli. So he'll offer you a puppet. So choose one, you need to buy it with Starlight Shard, and then you need to leave. Now, at this point, I was having trouble getting the next part of the quest to work. What you're supposed to do is speak to him again and get the quest further, but he's not giving me the option which I need to get. So at this point, what you're supposed to do is buy another puppet in order to unlock the part of the quest where you need the Amber Starlight, and he makes a special potion which he thinks he's going to use to trick Ranni into becoming a puppet, but she knows exactly what he's up to and she isn't having it. Now, it wasn't working for me, and eventually I figured out after a lot of thought what the issue was. And it's when you've bought the first puppet off him, before he'll offer you a second puppet, you need to go and gather up some Starlight Shards. And this applies even if you've already got lots of Starlight Shards spare in your inventory. He won't offer you another puppet until you've gone and got some. So if you're finding the same issue as me here, where he's not giving you an option to buy another puppet, you need to go and grab some Starlight Shards. Again, you'll find that's if you're on New Game, there'll be an item there to grab. I think it's a memory stone if memory serves, but it's worth grabbing while you're here. What we're going to do, though, we're going to go and get some Starlight Shards. Now, you'll see these all over the map. They tend to be on these kind of statues where the statue is holding a bowl up, and you'll see like a bluish purpley item in it. There's one in Caelid near the Bestial Sanctum that I think we're going to go to. What I'm just doing at the moment is thinking about where I can get some of these Starlight Shards. We've got some in the inventory. But having them in the inventory isn't going to do the trick. If we go to the Bestial Sanctum, though, and you head out here, in fact, while we're here, we can just quickly deal with the Gargoyle here, the Black Blade Kindred. There's a bit of a cheese I'm going to show you here as well. If you're having trouble with him, it can be quite tough, especially if you're on the New Game Plus. And basically, he can't come into the Bestial Sanctum, but you can. So, if you're finding him tough, and again, it's probably worth summoning your Mimic for this if you can. But deal some damage, get him aggroed. Now, I'm using this weapon because it's very good for things with high HP. But the Mimic's more or less out of action now. We're going to take him with some ranged attacks. And he's going to come after me, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to back away into the Bestial Sanctum, and he won't be able to follow. So from there I'll be able to pick him off with this ranged attack. So obviously he's still quite dangerous. He can hit you with certain special attacks, but his melee attacks you're pretty safe from. So that's going to give you the Gargoyle's Black Blade. From here we need to head down to around here. So right down here, we've already got that golden seed there. We get through, drop down, and look for the statue. which is like a big bowl. This is it. So there we go, we've got a Starlight shard. Now we don't have enough yet. So we're going to go to Caelid, the Church of the Plague, then we're going to head up here and grab another Starlight shard. So we've now grabbed 2. That should theoretically potentially be enough, but we're going to grab another one just to make sure. This one's in Limgrave near to Storm Hill. And we need to get to exactly here. So ride to the edge of the cliffs, find the bowl, grab yourself that Starlight shard, and now we should be good for the next part of Seluvis' quest. You may not need to get 3 Starlight shards, I'll be honest. You might be able to get away with picking up 1 or 2. I just wanted to make sure, but I know that this works. Getting some more will allow you to buy another puppet. So speak to Seluvis, buy another puppet. Finish his dialogue. Buy the other puppet, so you should now have all the puppets you want, and he'll then be able to tell you about his scheme to make Ranni into a puppet. So agree to go and get the Amber Starlight, and then we're going to have to go to Altus Plateau to get it. So we're going to go to Altus Highway Junction, and it's in a crater. So we're going slightly the wrong way here. Memories failed me on this occasion slightly. Yeah, we can just deal with these fell in if you want a few easy runes. Or you can run past them, it's your choice. But from this camp, we need to head sort of north a bit. Just checking my notes here. That's exactly where we need to go to there. So up here, around here. And then you need to drop down into the crater. Some land octopuses to deal with. Land octopi, is it maybe? Who knows? We've grabbed that Amber Starlight though. So we're going to go back to Seluvis. Heading this way. Riding back to Seluvis' Ranni. Speak to him, give him the Amber Starlight. Then he'll give you a reward. The Magic Scorpion Charm. Very useful. Boosts your magic damage. Now you need to reload the area. But we can deal with that next time. Thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you in part 17.